And today was actually a quiet weather day for us here in Western Mass, so we'll take a look at what the week ahead has to offer in my first alert forecast.
Getting answers for Western Massachusetts. This is Western Mass News on Fox 6.
We begin with an update out of Springfield, where a shooting on Saturday evening has left 3 people injured. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Western Mass News. I'm Glenn Kittle. Springfield police responded to the 100 block of Dunmoreland Street when they found 2 out of the 3 gunshot victims on the scene. The 3rd victim was privately transported to Mercy Medical Center. When our Western Mass News crews arrived on the scene yesterday, there was a large police presence going down the street, and initially police had Dunmoreland Street blocked off all the way down to Wilbraham Road. All 3 of the victims are said to have non-life-threatening injuries, and police report one of the victims of the shooting was discovered to be a suspect. They were placed under arrest at Bay State Medical Center, and Springfield police report they believe they've identified all of the shooters in this case. Meanwhile, an investigation into the incident is currently underway. We'll continue to bring you the latest developments on this story as it enters our newsroom. Now we're going to turn things over